Hi Mahendra, my name is Gwendolyn. I'm going to be looking at your Task 1 essay that you've submitted on pet owners. First of all, thank you so much for getting the single essay check. Really great to see that you are interested in improving your English writing and that you're also open to getting some feedback and the ways we could improve your score before you take your IELTS exam. I had a read through it. I thought you did a really good job at pulling out some interesting details and comparing and contrasting the information, which is exactly what we would want to see in the task response and for the task 1, which was really good. However, when I did read through it, there were some grammar, a few grammar issues, which is going to let you down a bit. So let's go ahead and read through it, and I'll give you some specific feedback on that and other areas where we could maybe help increase your score. Okay. The graph shows information about the number of people who owned pets, plural there, so there's more than one pet, so pets with an S, in 6 different countries over a 9-year period between 1990 and 1998. Otherwise, really good introduction. That's exactly what we would want to see. So well done with that, Mahendra. Overall, what stands out from the graph is that there were highest pet owner in the year 1994 over the period. I know what you were trying to say here, but it didn't really come across as coherent and cohesively as it could have done. So I would say overall what stands out from the graph is that the period with the highest, the period when pet ownership was the highest was in the year 1994. Besides with an S, this, Ireland was the less, we wouldn't say the less, I'm trying to get the meaning you're trying to get across here, but worded a little more naturally the way an English person would say. We would say here instead, so not to go too far astray from what you've written, I would say besides this, Ireland was the least pet owning country among the other countries over the period in question. I did like this phrase though, over the period in question. That's really good phrasing and a good grasp of the English language by using that. Turning to details, that's also a good phrase, a good transitional phrase. I liked that. As regards, we would say with regards. So with regards to, instead of that, with regards to Wales and Canada, there was a less pet owned in Wales than Canada in 1990 and 1995 with only 100,000, whereas Canada was almost half. Yeah, I did not understand that at all, Mahendra. I had a look at the chart and tried to interpret what you were trying to say. Let me look at it again. So between 1990 and 1995, and we're talking about Wales and Canada. Let's have a look. So we've got Wales and Canada, 1990 and 1995. Yeah, when I look at the chart, there's nothing on there that really stands out to me. I mean, you could have said between 1990 and 95, we talked about Ireland was the least number of pet owners actually through all the years. Yeah, I'm not sure what information you were trying to pull out there. Yeah, there was no significant details in there that really relates to anything about being the least number of pet owners and that Wales and Canada were different. I'm really not sure what you were trying to say there. Let's read on and then I'll maybe give you some suggestions of some other comparisons and contrastions we could have used. In addition, both countries had similar number of pet owners in 1994 and 1997. Let's have a look at that. Okay, that was accurate. That makes sense. Comparing between America and Ireland, America had a high number of pet ownership over the period, but in 1995, both countries had similar pet owners. We've used that a lot. I mean, that's something I would like to help you with, is trying to rephrase this so you're not saying pet owner so many times. So pet owner, pet owner, pet owner, pet owned, trying to change it up a little bit. Scotland and England had almost similar number of pet numbers, except 1990, 1993, and 1994 over the period. Let's have a look at it. Let's see what I would have compared and contrast and how I would have worded that. I mean, you might have said something along the lines of, it is interesting to note that Scotland were the most consistent in the number of pets owned during the 9-year period, with roughly having, I think they had about 200,000 pets for each year. In contrast, it can be seen that Americans' pet ownership fluctuated throughout the 9-year period, with at sometimes having close to 200,000 pets a year, for example, in the year 1994, and then decreasing down to only 100,000 pets in the year 1995. Something like that. I mean, that was a really, I mean, this is a really interesting. How come it's changed from 200,000 to 100,000, and then it's back up again, and then back down, and then back up again? That's a more interesting thing to note. Whereas, you can see that Scotland stayed pretty steady throughout the period. And that's one thing that I would have suggested, is looking at where's the real difference in comparison, real contrast, and looking at those big contrasts and focusing on that to talk about. In terms of pet ownership, really hard with these ones, trying to change up the word and the vocabulary. Maybe you could have said animal possessions. I mean, that's something you could have used. Have a look at some other synonyms for that. Right, Mahendra, I hope that was helpful. I think, you do need to work on your grammar a little bit. Also trying to pull out some more contrasting different information in when you're doing your task 1 as bar chart comparisons. Have a look at the email that I sent you. I've got some details of the sentence guide course, what we could help you with there. If that's of interest, do let Ben or I know. Would love to work with you a bit further and give you some more regular feedback on the areas that you could improve. And I think with that consistent and regular feedback, you do improve massively over the course. So do have a look at it. If you've got any questions, let us know. All right, all the best. Bye for now.